Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Amber Cox, Kelly Kroskoff, Stephanie White. I'm going to throw her in there because I would guess that while it is the decision of the GM, they would discuss this situation with their head coach. So all three of them, absolutely no idea what they are doing. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. I tell you, let me tell this season, even more than last season, this has been so difficult to keep this a PG family friendly channel. I might do a anyway, I tell you what, it's really tempting for to drop a lot of words with what's going on lately. And this doesn't even have anything to do with Caitlin Clark. Okay, this isn't a stance because oh, we're fans of Caitlin Clark and we're gonna make this about her. This is just absolute incompetence by this front office. And what am I talking about? Well, I am so glad. I am so glad that you asked. Let's get into this. Now, we know we've had, look, I am not going to deny a lot of adversity for this team with DeWanna Bonner and injuries and so forth, but there's also a lot that has fallen under the control of the Indiana Fever that they have handled poorly, whether we're talking about the charges from the opening game and the Fever basically threw their own fans under the bus to signing DeWanna Bonner in the first place and their offseason emphasis on, which we're going to get into, this idea of experience as opposed to putting the proper pieces into place to win a championship with their big three of Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston. And we've gotten more of that now, and I have some questions for them all. Latest Fever roster shuffling has to do with mounting injuries, not potential Caitlin Clark return. Sure, no problem. I get it. Let's get into something that I saw in here that blew me away that has to do with the specifics of this. I don't know what the heck just happened. Why did that do that? That X should get rid of the ad, not take me. Anyway, uh, so as we know, and there's a reason this says the Indiana Fever signed experienced guard Shea Petty, although she's not actually that experienced, to a hardship contract following the release of Kyra Lambert 5 days into her 7-day contract. Now, I assume that Shea Petty was available 5 days ago when they signed Kyra Lambert, and that is important, as you will see here in a second. This comes after they announced Fever guard Sophie Cunningham suffered a season-ending knee injury. Did it come after? I'm not sure. Anyway, it's starting to all kind of run together, and all of it is bad. Yeah, Cunningham is the third player to have a season-ending injury on the Fever roster. We know Sydney and Aerie. Now, I'm not sure why they signed a guard like Shea when it was Cunningham that went out, but I don't even want to get into that. Let's scroll down. I want you to see something really, really interesting. Now, we know it doesn't have anything to do with Caitlin Clark. I get all of that. Here we go. The switch from Lambert to Petty, and this is why I said wasn't Petty available. Why didn't they just sign Petty then? The switch from Lambert to Petty had to do with attempting to fill the void of Cunningham's veteran impact on the floor as much as possible. I want to read that again. The switch from Lambert to Petty had to do with attempting to fill the void of Cunningham's veteran impact on the floor as much as possible. If we put away all of the Caitlin Clark stuff, okay, everything that surrounds Caitlin Clark in terms of what the Fever should do and haven't done in the league and all of that, I think if we say, what is one thing that has led to, I don't know if I'll say disaster of a season, setting aside the injury part, I get that, but I'm just looking at, they're still in the playoff hunt and all of that, even though we were talking titles at the time. But to say had the most impact on a less than what we expected season, and that is his absolute obsession with veteran experience. It is overrated for one. We saw how well being a veteran and being a leader and having championship experience did when the signing of DeWanna Bonner happened. How did that veteran leadership and experience work out for the Indiana Fever? Let me know. Let me know in the comments how well you think that worked out for the Indiana Fever. If that is so crucial to Petty's signing, why did it not matter when you signed Lambert? Why do you even have Timpson on the team? Heck, why did you let Caitlin Clark play? Aaliyah Boston seems a little young, not a lot of veteran experience there. Now, I want to talk about that because first of all, Shea is this really a lot of experience? And I'm not knocking Shea, okay, please. She just happens to be the player that they signed. This is about the Indiana Fever front office. She's played a whopping, I mean, she really had 2 seasons, 21 and 22, 32 and 34 games. I mean, the rest of their career, 15, 17, 9. Although, okay, that was 2, so 17 for, oh, no, okay, she played 3 different teams, so that's my bad. So she had a little more in terms of total games, but 122 games since 2019, 34 starts, 19 minutes a game. She played with Sophie in Phoenix. That overlapped a little bit. But here's the other thing. Let's look at this roster right now, okay? Because again, you just saw they signed Shea. They got rid of Kyra Lambert, who I'm guessing is the better player since they signed her before Shea, or at least they thought she was the better player. I still don't understand signing Shea when it's Cunningham we lost, but Kelsey Mitchell is in her 8th season. Odyssey Sims, 12th season. Natasha Howard, 12th season. Say what you want about Aaliyah Boston only being in her 3rd, but she's been on the All-Star team 3 times, and she won titles at South Carolina as well, and has been the focal point of the team from day one. Lexi Hull's in her 4th year. A ton of experience? No, but she's not exactly new to the situation. Brianna Turner, 7th year. Damiris Dantes, 10th year. So seriously, experience is why we signed Shea Petty. Experience is what got us into a lot of these problems in the first place, because instead of building with the correct pieces, the correct role players around Caitlin Clark, you went with this experience crap, and it's been an absolute disaster. You know who doesn't have a lot of experience? I'm going to tell you. I appreciate you asking. Thank you so much for allowing me to mention this. And I will find it in a second because I'm really messing this up. All right, here we go. Anyone familiar with this team that just won an NBA title? The second youngest NBA championship team in history. 9 of their 18 roster players under the age of 25, 2 players in their 30s on their entire roster. Alex Caruso at only 31 and Kenrich Williams at 30. According to NBA.com, Thunder entered the 24-25 season as the youngest team in the league with an average age of 24 years, 148 days old. And yet, NBA title, and people are talking about a dynasty. Now, look, it's the NBA. Lots of things can happen, but it is a team that is set up to continue winning for quite a while. They didn't seem to worry too much about experience and championship experience. And I already mentioned the Philadelphia Eagles and our defense being the youngest in the NFL last year, also the best in the NFL last year, and then being the defense that helped them win a Super Bowl. By the way, the final score was 40-6 because we know once we got rid of, we pulled starters and the game was over, the Chiefs decided they were just going to keep trying to score and make the score look more respectable, and got 2 cheap touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions to make it look respectable at 40-22, but we all know it was 40-6. But anyway, so this is what the Indiana Fever do. And yes, this does irk me, because this shows me a front office that doesn't know what they are doing. Forget the Caitlin Clark stuff. Just in general, they don't know what they're doing. They're basing everything off, well, this player has experience. Experience. Well, they have experience. This is what makes them great. This is how we win titles, players with experience. It doesn't matter if the players have talent. It doesn't matter if the players play together. It doesn't matter if the players have a coach that puts them in a position to be successful. Hell, as long as they have experience, we're golden. That felt kind of good. Thank you. Appreciate you listening. Let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Really do appreciate it. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.